Did you know that 90% of the world's millionaires invest in real estate? Well, I'm Angel with the Academy Presents Real Estate Investing Rocks, and I'm here to help you if you want to go for your piece of that pie. I'm like sitting here trying to envision, like on a call, not being so stuck to a script that it doesn't sound like you. And then, like you said, are you a robot? I mean, that's so personality driven.
Yeah, it is.
And so it makes it different. So it's not really a cookie cutter cold call.
Sure.
So if someone, or if anybody, people that are listening, guys, if you can inject some level of personality into those cold calls, you can make them not be cold.
Yeah, which is why I said about, I use my hands a lot when I'm getting excited. So on the phone, I'm going to say, hey, it's Amy, when I'm getting excited and using my hands, because I feel like when I'm not like doing something that makes it feel genuine, then I'm not going to put that out there. So yeah, you just got to get into a rhythm. You have to like pump yourself up, do whatever you can, but genuine, be yourself. Exactly.
And ask for people to call.
I love it. I mean, I always have a list of people to call, but I will ask at the end, do you know of anyone after I've exhausted, like I said, all my options? No.
Well, and that's a hard habit to get in.
Right. Yeah.
Because this is a weird one. So you were talking about hockey. I actually was a hockey ticket salesperson when we lived in Lubbock, of all places, because Lubbock doesn't really have ice, but we had a little hockey team there.
And so you still didn't know anything about hockey. You were, okay, perfect. Yep.
So, but it was about every time I would call, I was like, hey, do you know anybody that might be interested in this sponsorship package?
Yeah.
And they would give me a name, like, well, can I drop your name when I give them a call?
Yeah.
Sometimes they say yes, sometimes they wouldn't.
Yeah.
But, at the very least, I had a name that was more of a warm lead than something else. But it's hard to get in that habit. And then I would hang up if I forgot and be like, oh, dang it, I forgot to ask.
I know.
And then you're back to the yellow pages. Let me flip through looking for businesses to call.
I have a, triple dialer that it's like, as soon as I hang up with someone, it's ready. It's calling the next person,
Yeah, I did this quite a while ago. So it was the yellow pages.
Yep.
At least it wasn't a Rolodex. That would really date me.
Yeah, I still got the yellow pages. I know what they are,
Yeah, my grandparents had a Rolodex.
My mom still has one on her desk at work, and I'm like, are you 95 years old?
Well, but like if you've got a lot of really old contacts in there, because some people don't ever change their phone number.
Yeah.
Like those of us that have had cell phones for a really long time, or even like people in their 20s that have only ever had cell phones, have no clue what it's like to not change numbers, because they change numbers every time they get a new phone.
Yeah. Yep.
And so they don't understand this concept of, I've had the same phone number for 20 years.
I've had the same phone number. My God, I'm 33. I'm like, wait, how old am I? So yeah, I've had my cell phone.
Bio said 33.
Yeah, bio said 33.
Oh, yeah. I'm sorry. Yeah, the bio said 33.
Not lying about my age now. No, yeah. But so I've had, the same number for probably 15 years, 16 years. Yeah.
I think we've had the same number for 17.
Yeah.
But that's not the norm.
No, it's not. Absolutely not.
Yeah. So I can get why somebody would still have a Rolodex or still have a address book or.
Yeah.
I can get that.
Yellow pages. No, not anymore. That's what Google's for.
Yeah. Or whitepages.com.
Oh yeah. Yep.
Whitepages.com is actually very scary when you're skip tracing.
So Spokeo is a really good one.
But you can remove yourself from Spokeo.
You can? So I paid for White Pages Premium, and they started like, every time I would look someone up, it would be the wrong person. So I got really mad and got rid of it, but I have Spokeo, but I did not know that you could remove yourself from
Yeah,
Spokeo.
a friend of mine posted the methods to do it probably 5 years ago, so I probably need to do it again. But
Yeah,
yeah, there was a like a step by step way to remove yourself from Spokeo.
interesting.
So
Good to
neat.
know. So White Page is the best when I want to stalk people.
Yeah, I enjoy white pages a lot. But because I mean, like, and I try and share stuff with people because a lot of people think that skip tracing is really hard.
Right.
And they're like, well, I need to hire a company to do this for me. And I'm like, whitepages.com.
Yeah.
And I'm like, go to CAD, put in the address,
Yep.
find out who the owner is, and then go to White Pages.
Oh my gosh, that's my exact process. Go to public record, find that, and so we do True People Search, White Pages, Spokeo. I'm trying to think if there's another one. No, I think that's really it, but
Yeah.
now
Now,
I'll show you every single number out there.
it is getting a little tougher because, again, as ownership transfers generation to generation,
Yep.
more and more people are getting away from landlines.
Oh,
And so cell phones aren't published. And so you'll
so,
have a harder time getting into a number unless they have a VoIP number or something like that. But
some aren't they?
usually, of course, I don't have a paid account, but usually if it's just a cell phone, all I can get is an address of like where the current owner is now.
Interesting. Okay. Good to know.
Yeah. And maybe with a paid account, it's different.
Yeah. Because I've done a lot of stalking, which it sounds like you have too. I like that you say skip tracing and I say stalking.
It's skip tracing. Come on, we're professionals here.
Or I'll look them up. I've like sent people Facebook messages. I'm like total skip tracer.
So funny story. I had a friend that was looking at a property and it was listed. And so she kept trying to go through the listing agent and kept trying and trying. And it was almost like a gatekeeper kind of thing. Like she couldn't get much information and they wouldn't let her talk to the owner direct. So
Sure.
she skip traced the owner and sent him a Facebook message.
I love it.
I don't know what came from it. I was just like, oh.
So she wanted to buy the property, right? Okay. I wonder why the agent, what was going on?
I don't know. And I need to ask her and find out what happened with it. But she was like, so I did this thing today.
Good. You go.
And she told like our little mastermind group that, I did this thing and I messaged who I think is the owner and I guess we'll see what happens.
I love it. Go girl. Do it. That is so awesome.
But you get to that point, especially right now. Things are it's like blockade after blockade after blockade. And
Sure.
it's like pivot, pivot, pivot. And then you just got to break down the wall.
Yep.
Like, what can I do? I've got to get moving because I can't stay where I'm at right now.
Yep.
So there's so many of us have lost incomes. We've lost distributions. We've lost so much that we're all having to figure out what we can do to still be profitable during this time of just crazy.
Right. Which is to me, it's brought out like a really fierce side of me, which I think is amazing. And, it really has, the past few months, I'm like, all right, let's do this, So a lot of the time when half of the other agents were like, I can't do anything. I'm like, oh no, I'm making moves over here. So it's been really, really awesome.
Yeah. It's hard though. I think you said something about it too, but in a book that I'm reading right now, it talks about that 80-20 rule.
Yep.
20% of the people make 80% of the money and the other 80% fight over the 20% that's left over.
Yep, exactly.
And so unless you want to be part of that 80% fighting over the leftovers, you've got to be willing to make the moves now.
Exactly.
And so I don't want to say everything I do, I'm thinking about how am I going to monetize this, but whenever we make decisions on what to push forward on, that's one of the first things in our mind is, what income piece is this going to replace?
Yeah.
What is this going to add to? Because we have to continue thinking about the future and future prospects and future income when it comes to our family, having a special needs son, having young children, just having a family in general, having bills, having a house payment, and then having our rental properties. And we can't just stop. You've always got to be in motion.
How did all of your tenants do during COVID?
So in our personal rentals, which is the ones that we own personally, we have not been told that anybody has not paid. I think one family may have asked to get on a payment plan, but I'm not 100% on that.
Yeah.
But we have not been told, because we have property managers, but we haven't been told that anybody has missed a payment.
That's good.
Which is huge.
That is awesome.
Yeah. With the syndications that we're in, because we're in 4 pretty large syndications. One of them stopped making distributions, but when they stopped, we got a newsletter that told us exactly what was going on, why they were stopping distributions. It wasn't because occupancy was down. It wasn't because they weren't making payments, or it wasn't because people weren't paying rent. It was because they wanted to like save some reserves.
Sure.
Basically to CYA. But they were just trying to take care of the property. So let's make sure that our property is taken care of so that in the future we can get those distributions back out to you.
Which is smart, right? So, and it's all about communication in anything. It's like, okay, just tell me what's going on.
Absolutely.
I'm not getting this. So yeah, that's pretty awesome.
Yeah. But then the other 3 we're in, I think, let's see, one of them hasn't stopped at all. Yeah. And it's the one that pays monthly distributions, and they haven't stopped at all. And then another one took 1 off. So they stopped for 1 quarter.
Yeah.
I can't remember if they said they were starting up again this quarter or next quarter, but kind of a similar situation to the other one that stopped. Mm-hmm. But again, we get some level of communication as to why those distributions are stopping. Does it suck? That sucks.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because that's an income stream. But at the same time, I can understand why. Mm-hmm. And I would much rather be told, this is why we're not doing distributions right now.
Yeah.
And the distribution should just stop with no communication.
Yeah, which that's scary. Then that's when people panic and,
they lose it.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. So, yeah, but, and honestly, I hate, I'm not saying that I'm trying to relate everything back to cold calling, but I think that one of the reasons why people dislike it so much is that fear.
Yeah.
How are people going to react to me? And I think that that's true too with the communication of something bad. Like, we're going to stop distributions. This isn't good. Sorry. How are people going to react? Oh, I don't know. But instead of bowing out and not communicating, these teams still said, we've got to let our investors know what's going on. Yep, exactly. And so they got beyond that fear and sent out that communication. So whether it's TikTok or cold calling or doing video chats or FaceTime or whatever the new thing is going to be, it really is getting past that fear of how people are going to respond to you. Because I think it also comes back to that idea of, I can't control how somebody responds, but I can 100% control how I respond to them.
Exactly. And the situation. So, yes.
So it's getting past that fear, which is hard.
But focus on your superpowers,
Yeah, I think that I'm hoping that maybe I can start that movement of quit working on your weaknesses.
I love that. I think that's amazing. Stop working on those. Don't, work on your weak. No, hell no. Work on those superpowers. I love that.
I mean, you have to a little bit, because you don't want to right. I'm learning a little bit about writing copy, not because I ever think I'm going to be good at it, but because I don't want to be just absolutely ignorant. I've learned a little bit about building funnels, just so I've got some level of knowledge of the fact that there's different pages of them.
that's different, right? So, but you're not putting all of your time into that, you know? It's like, okay, I'll make sure that I know what I'm talking about. Also, I'm not going to put all my time into it.
Yeah, no, because it's just not. I don't know. I've been a member of a couple of different masterminds that talk about, and they in their introductory questions are like, what weakness are you willing to work on? And I've never been denied membership, but I'm pretty straight up. I'm like, I'm not going to work on a weakness.
Yeah.
Why would I work on a weakness?
I love that. And I love that once again, you are yourself. Like, if I'm going to be not denied, then maybe it's not for me, right?
Yeah.
So. I really, really like that.
Well, but I feel like you're doing the same thing.
Yeah, girl. We got this. Working on a superpowers.
Yeah. But it's, yeah, I think too that being female in real estate, is tough too.
Oh boy. Uh-huh.
It's a pretty male dominated field.
Right. And you have to work twice as hard to show that you know what you're talking about. Which a man, they're like, oh yeah, that price sounds good. But a woman, it's like, well, does she know what she's talking? Just like one time I was at an open house and this guy came through with his client and he literally said to his client, I wanted to punch this guy. It was an older guy. And he said, yeah, they bring all the pretty girls out for the open houses. And I was like,
well, they clearly don't bring out the good looking men.
Yeah, exactly. And even I've had, because I got a lot of success with open houses, I've had multiple men say to me, oh, that's just because I'm 5'10". Okay. So
I'm 5'2".
Yeah. But they'd say, well, I'm sure it doesn't hurt being a 5'10" blonde at an open house. I'm sure it's easy to get clients. I'm like, you jerks. But yes, it is hard being a woman because you have to prove yourself 10 times more than a man.
Yeah.
But that's all right. That's my superpower. I'm a woman, Well,
and I think a friend of mine told me one time, because we hadn't spoken for a while after high school, and then we connected again on Facebook actually. And I told him a little bit about our son, and it's tough. And he was like, that sounds really hard. And I'm like, well, we all play the hand we're dealt the best we can. And he said something to me that I'll never forget. He said, I bet it's just as hard being me as it is being you. And I was like, absolutely. And so I'll say that a lot now. I'm like, don't feel sorry for me. Don't have pity for me, because it's just as hard being you as it is being me.
Yeah. It's all relative, right? Yeah.
So it's
that gave me chills kind of,
But it's, is it hard being a female in real estate? Of course it is. But
yeah,
we're going to play the hand that we're dealt the best we can, regardless of what we're playing, because that's human nature. We want to make things the easiest and the best they can be for us.
Yep.
And so we're going to play the best we can.
Yeah.
And even though it might be a little easier for a guy, that just means that we as females have to step it up a notch.
Heck yeah. And that's fine with me.
Yeah.
That is fine with me, Yeah.
And
I'm hustling and doing my thing.
I think, I don't even think, I believe and I feel that women are really starting to get into the real estate space.
Yeah.
Whether it's wholesaling or even flipping and rehabbing, I'm seeing more and more women that are running like construction crews.
I freaking love that.
And they can do it, and they're successful with it. And it's like,
we can multitask better.
I thought it was the BS meter. Like,
no, that too. But no, I wholeheartedly believe that, they can do it successfully and better,
It's, I think that the next 2-3 decades, there's going to be a pretty big change in what's going on in real estate.
Yeah, I'm excited about it because you know, when this whole COVID thing happened, it was like our team shifted extremely quickly to virtual. We started this thing called Core 4, where body, being, balance, and business. So it was like we had people come on 4 days a week, and we did live streams with like businesses in the area, and we would put on like a yoga class on Tuesday mornings, and just bringing people in like that. It's a whole different way of, people are like, why is this real estate company doing this? But then people know who we are, right? So it's like drawing people in like that, because it's a virtual world, right? So I think it's going to be completely different, and I am so here for it and so excited.
Yeah, well, and even people that are talking and saying, why are they doing that? That's stupid. Why are they doing yoga? Well, even haters are thinking about you. That's that Grant Cardone thing. Even the haters be thinking about you.
Exactly.
So it's like, well, hate on.
Exactly. And we did like a book club that we invited. We said, hey, we're reading this book. Whoever wants to join can join. And we had business leaders, like, I don't know if you know who Phil M. Jones is, Exactly What to Say. He's amazing. But he came and spoke to our group, and we had guests join, so really, really cool. And exactly, people are talking about it, and that's what you want. So
yeah, it's embracing the new social platforms, whether it's TikTok or Instagram or whatever else is new and coming out there.
Yeah, I would say even Zoom though, right? I never used Zoom before quarantine. I did not. So it was like so cool that I'm like, oh, this is something that we can all get on. Heck yeah, So
well, there's even, what is it, StreamYard now?
Yes.
I've never used StreamYard, but StreamYard, like, you can brand it, and you can run like a running marquee at the bottom.
Yeah.
And
so I actually did
lots of different platforms.
I did an open house on StreamYard on our team's Facebook page. So like a live open house through StreamYard. It was really, really cool.
I wouldn't have even thought about that, because like we've done some of, like, I'm the troop coordinator for my daughter's American Heritage Girls troop, and we do our meetings through Zoom. Mm-hmm. But like, that's each of us at home, but there was going to be some people meeting on site at the last meeting.
Yeah.
And so it was going to have to be one person on a computer.
Yes.
That had like the people that were on site transmitting to the rest of us that were at home. And
right.
To be able to do it through another platform would be something to definitely look into.
Yeah, absolutely.
But there's been a kind of a resurgence with some things too, because like I saw some ads for WebEx probably last week, and I used WebEx, I don't even know, probably 8 years ago.
Yeah, my mom still uses that. They still use that at her company. But
like WebEx was an older platform, and so when I saw it again, I was like, oh my gosh, everybody's trying to get their piece of the pie.
Of course.
So there's that resurgence there too. But
blame them. Superpower,
Yeah, and I'm really excited about where this is going to go, and just the possibilities of. I know people have a real problem with Cardone right now. I know they're not happy with him, but he is an amazing salesperson, and his ideas are just like crazy out there. Yeah. And so like one of the things he says is that, he had people coming up to him saying, how are you everywhere? Yeah. He was on the radio. He was on TV. He was on this. He was in person. He was at this. And it's like, how are you everywhere? And I see the virtual landscape as providing that same kind of an opportunity for everyone that's willing to try and get it. All 20% of us that are willing to be everywhere. Yeah. And that's just super cool to me. And it brings me back to this idea of always being true to you, because if you're everywhere and you're not being true to you, the web you are going to tangle yourself up in is going to be ugly.
Well, you would just not be you would not be able to sustain that lifestyle. It's like you can be successful, that's great, but if you're not being true to you, then God, can you imagine like living a life like that? No, it would not be a sustainable life. It wouldn't be a happy life for sure. So,
yeah. So,
Be
well,
genuine.
yeah, so I just, we've been on for a while now. I love talking. And we've been talking and we've been doing a great talking.
Oh, God, girl. Yes, it is 4:20.
Well, I usually set aside 1 to 2 hours for them, but this has just been awesome. I have loved getting to know you.
Oh my God, I love getting to know you. How much fun. Let's do this again. We can just hop on for fun and talk. You're awesome.
And I like talking to people that are of like mind and believe in this virtual landscape and believe that it's going to be something that is really amazing and a way to grow and a way to harness leads and growth and just getting outside your comfort zone. And there are just so many possibilities.
I'm so excited. I really, really am. And, you know, you and I will keep each other up to date on all the virtual cool stuff that's going on.
And we've got an app that'll be out in a little less than a month. And once it hits, it'll hit September 1st, and I'll make sure to share it with you because it's
cool.
It's pretty revolutionary. It's going to change. It's going to be a real game changer for real estate.
Oh my gosh, I'm so excited. I'm like, is this a teaser? I can't wait.
Yeah, we're pretty pumped about it. And it's hard to not tell people about it. It's like, oh
yeah, it's like right there almost.
Just kind of leave it there. It's a game changer.
Cool. Well, I cannot wait to hear about it. Okay. Oh my gosh. Well,
all right. Well, you have a great day, and thanks for being a part of my show. And
yes, thank you so much for having me.
No, it was really awesome, and hopefully, people got some info and aren't going to be so afraid to make the cold calls or hop on TikTok with the help of a much younger generation.
Thank God for them. Thank God for them. And just be yourself. That's the big thing. Be yourself. So
it's that's one thing I'll say is that teaching middle school where I was.
Yeah.
It was a very poor school, a lot of poverty, and those kids pick up on who's real and who's not real quickly.
Oh.
And
I'm sure.
It really honed those skills in me.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it's and even like with my son that's special needs, I mean, people can read it off of you immediately. And the easiest and fastest way to build a following and to build a good reputation and build a level of trust with even people that you've just met is to be yourself.
Yep.
All right. So that I'll get off my soapbox.
So sweet. No, you're awesome. I can tell you are 100% yourself, and I love it. I'm drawn to people like that. That's why we've been talking for almost an hour and a half, which I didn't even realize. I was like, oh my gosh. So anyway, well, I got some cold calling to do, girl.
Get after it.
I will. You go door knock some.
Maybe that same lady, maybe I can go back and say, are you sure you're happy here? I've seen your pool.
I know you're not using your pool, so someone wants to, right?
Or that spa in the backyard that you've got all covered up with stuff so you can't get to it.
That's crazy. Girl, I'm going to check in on you and be like, did you get her yet? You need me to call her? Oh, okay.
Bad.
Well, so much fun.
Guys, thanks for joining us today, and we'll see you next time.
Bye.